Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this afternoon's session. Really excited to have you all here and to share a little bit about this really exciting new program that Work to Future, Evergreen Valley College, and CAES are working on. So hopefully this is all sounding familiar to you and you're in the right place. So here is just a quick agenda of kind of what our meeting will cover today. So we'll do a quick welcome, and then we will hear directly from the employer of the employer worksite CAES, as well as the plan is to have a little overview from Evergreen Valley College, have some time for Q&A, and then hear a little bit more about Work to Future's wraparound services available, whether you're in this program or not, and then go out to breakout rooms for next steps. And just a quick side note, we get asked this question a lot during presentations. If you are looking for the slides or the recording of today's presentation, we will be posting them on the events section of Work to Future's website. And so the web address is right there, www.worktofuture.org/events. Perfect. So let me introduce myself. I hadn't done that yet. My name is Nikisa Hutman, and I'm with Work to Future. And Work to Future is the local workforce investment board here in the Santa Clara County. So really our mission is to help employers and folks who are looking for work or looking to upskill themselves kind of take that next step. So wanted to share one of the things we've been working on is this really innovative new Earn and Learn program. This particular program happens to be funded through a California statewide career accelerator grant. And it's really a way for you to be able to earn money while learning a new career. So I think oftentimes, we're really interested in maybe doing something new. We go to apply, we get that response that you don't have any experience, and you're going, well, darn, how am I supposed to get into this job if I don't have experience, right? And so CAES is a great partner employer in this program as they really embrace this kind of culture of learning and teaching and growing. And so the whole goal of this is that you will get some classroom training, some hands-on on the job training in order to learn this new skill and get paid the whole time you're doing it. And then you will be eligible for full-time permanent employment with benefits with CAES at the end of this program. So quick highlights, it's going to be 10 weeks long, a mixture of classroom training and on-the-job training, as I mentioned. The pay rate, the salary for this during the 10 weeks is going to be $19 an hour. And then you will be enrolled in just about 40 hours a week. There will be some weeks over the holidays. There might be 32 hours, but pretty much full-time hours. And then CAES is actually located in South San Jose, and Evergreen Valley College is located kind of on against the foothills in San Jose as well. So those are going to be kind of the two places that you'll be asked to travel to for this program. And then a few important dates is that this Friday at 5 p.m., October 22nd. If you have not already completed an application for this program, if you're here today just checking out more information in this info session, but you say, at the end of this, it sounds good. I really want to, put my hat in the ring. I want to participate in this program. You have to get your application in by this Friday at 5 o'clock. So the web address is there, and that will also have all the additional information on the program. So again, all the schedule, all the information we're sharing today. You can look at the job description for this electronics technician position, more information about CAES and Evergreen Valley College, etc. But the important part is that application is there. So worktofuture.org/CAES. And then just so you have an idea, November 1st and 2nd is when we're targeting to do some Zoom interviews with the hiring managers at CAES. And then at that point, they will be selecting the folks to enter the program. And Wednesday, November 3rd is what we're targeting for an in-person onboarding. So that would be the time where you would bring your right to work documents, things like that, everything you need to start your first day of work at a new job. And then the plan is that Monday, November 8th would actually be the start of the program. So hopefully that's clear and makes sense. Perfect. So with that, I'm going to hand the presentation over to Kelly Dutra from CAES to tell you a little bit more about the employment opportunities, about the company, and more about what you will be doing with them. So Kelly, take it away.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Kelly Dutra, as Nikisa said. I am the director of the manufacturing test area here in San Jose, and I've got a few slides that talk about what CAES is, and then a little bit about the technician opportunities that will be available if you're selected and complete this program. So CAES overview. So we are an electronics aerospace company. So what does that mean? It means that we make electronics for the aerospace industry, which is primarily defense. So with this slide, the takeaway from this slide is that, across the whole CAES portfolio of all the business units, there's 3,600 employees, mostly in the United States, a couple in Europe. And if you look over to the right, you see it's primarily US. Why? Because we're doing work for the Defense Department primarily, and it's mostly military. Okay, next slide, Nikisa. Okay, so where are we located? So this just gives you an idea. We've got West Coast. The big sites are San Jose and in San Diego. We've got a site out in Colorado Spring. We've got a fab down at Richardson, and then we have some smaller sites up there on the East Coast. And then there's some sites out in the UK. But this position that you're going to be taking these classes for and then doing the learning and the earning will be at our San Jose site. So this whole information session is really focused around the San Jose site. But I want to give you a feeling for the whole company. And so the San Jose site, we have 600 employees here in San Jose. Okay, next slide. Okay, so what do we do? So I said we're aerospace. So those top three boxes on the first row, radar, EW, and missiles, that's what we do. So I'll give you an example. So radar, there's got to be something that goes on that antenna that's sitting on that ship that's, looking for anything in the sky, looking for, some sort of threat that may nearby. So we'll make electronics for that. Electronic warfare, that's a big piece of what we do in San Jose. So if we have that's a fighter jet there. So if we have something like an F-15, we'll be making the electronics that they load on the fighter pilot that jams signals from targets or protects us from other enemy fighters. So a lot of high-end communications going at very high speeds. And then finally on the right, you can't see anything because it just looks like there's fire there because that's a missile taking off. But we make electronics that go on missiles. So those would be the electronics that help the missile find its target. So, you've got a pilot that shoots the missile off, whether it's off a ship or off an aircraft carrier or off a fighter jet. Something's got to guide that missile, and that's where we make the guidance electronics. So the takeaway here is we do a lot of high-speed, high-end advanced manufacturing for the defense industry. Next slide. Okay, and so what does that mean, and why are you here? So what we're looking for here as we continue to grow here in San Jose is that we're looking for test technicians. So the technician job family is what we have listed here, and there's 5 levels. And as a technician, you would be doing basically what it says there, testing, and those electronics, and then we sell to the customers that put them in those products that I just showed you. So a very entry-level technician will still come in at very good pay in the $18 to $24 hour, $24 an hour range, and that's from 0 to 2 years of experience. And the next level is test technician 2, which is in the 24 to 28, and that tends to be about 2 to 6 years of experience. Test technician 3, 28 to 34, 6 to 10 years of experience. And for the technicians that have been here a while, you can see 10, 15, we've got people that have been here 30 years, but you can see the pay range is really high. It ranges there 33 to 41 at the Tech 4, and at the highest level, 38 to 46. And then there is a path that we're showing there down below. There is a path that, depending on how much additional education and what sort of experience you've gained in the time you're here, there is a path to grow into the product engineering position or into our design engineering. And that would be whether it's electrical or mechanical. There's lots of opportunity here. We are a big manufacturing house, but we do the design of all our products here in San Jose as well. So it's pretty exciting stuff. And I can tell you, people don't get, if you're really looking for a career where you grow, you don't want to get too hung up on the years, and because it's really, we pay based on performance. So we've been this program we're going to talk about is part of the Advanced Manufacturing Technology program that we have up at EVC. And we've already been hiring students from that program. And I can tell you that we've had people that have started in the last year and already at that Tech 3 level. So it's all, and they haven't even been here, you know, in the 1 to 2 years. So again, we pay based on performance. And what that really tells you is that this program at Evergreen Valley College is just outstanding. So anyway, that's my pitch for that slide. Next slide.
That's really exciting. I think that's actually your last slide, but it's really exciting to think that maybe folks can come in with zero experience. Maybe they've been working, you know, retail or something else, and it's, you know, not really going anywhere. And within even a year, they have real potential to be making a living wage here in our county, which is not a cheap place to live, right? So I love that you have this career ladder, this pathway, and other opportunities within CAES to really give people an option to kind of explore and grow within the company. So thank you so much, Kelly, for sharing. I really appreciate it. So next, I want to introduce Manafone Dickerson, who's the Division Dean for Business and Workforce Development at Evergreen Valley College. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about the learn portion of this Earn and Learn project. So Manny, take it away.
Thank you, Nakisa. So as Nakisa mentioned, I'm Manafone Dickerson. I'm the Dean for Business and Workforce at Evergreen Valley College. As Kelly mentioned, we've been partnered with CAES since for a long time and making sure that the skills training is there. So this skills training and the courses, actually, what Kelly doesn't tell you is actually built around what the industry needs. So we didn't build this training and curriculum based on a workbook or a textbook. Is actually what the industry is saying. These are the foundational skills that you would need regardless if you go to CAES or another advanced manufacturing. As you know, the next iteration of industry is 4.0. So then what does it mean to have advanced manufacturing? So before you go to that advanced manufacturing level, there are some foundational skills that are needed. So these are the courses that we have identified that you would need to get into the pay scale that, you know, is just a stepping stone and where you need. So we have the Manufacturing 101, which is Introduction to Manufacturing. 102, Math for Manufacturing. Where to contextualize the math. If you're saying, well, I'm not good at math, I'm afraid of math, take that out of your head. We have contextualized it to the specific skill set that is needed for what you know. We're not going to teach you about equations that you do not need. We're not going to teach you Excel spreadsheets and data that you do not need. So these are all based on what you would need to work in that area. So, so it's not every math that you need. So we have, with our industry partner and the instructor has chosen the math that you would need to be in the manufacturing. And the next one is the fundamental electronics, which is for manufacturing, which is very important across all sectors of manufacturing, whether you go to apply materials or the production materials. But know that advanced manufacturing is an engineering technician level, right? So you'll be working with engineers. So you're getting that stepping stone knowledge of how to do it with electronics. And then the other one is manufacturing data analytics. There's a lot of data that requires to make sure that before you go to the quality control, you have to know what all those things that these numbers mean. So we do some live. And these are also based with labs. We just don't throw at you with a whole bunch of terminologies and words, but you also get a lab portion where you can contextualize what does that data input mean at the end result and outcome. So you see it live so that you know to make if you don't make the error during the time that you're working, you can learn that from trial and error in the lab sessions with the courses. And the last piece is really our Microsoft Office, because there's a lot of Excel spreadsheet and using Excel data that you will need. So we want to make sure you're proficient in that and have at least an intermediate, medium level understanding of those spreadsheets. And this is added, so this is a certificate level 1 that you will get added to. So all this you will, so what we have so that you don't feel overwhelmed is how do we work very close with our industry partner, Kelly, to make sure that you have your learning on the site and then your hours that you're learning for your knowledge and your experience. So that's how we work. And we also have support around all that. So don't feel overwhelmed. They say, well, I can't do it. I have counselors that we can support you. We want you to be successful. So if you had like, I need extra tutoring in math, we have an intermediate, we have tutors right there embedded into math just for this case. So we'll have additional support times. If you feel like you're falling behind, we'll make sure that you're at every point. We want to make sure you're successful. And Kelly can attest to that we want you to not just be successful in her operations of doing the production, but also taking these courses. And we don't want you to be overwhelmed. We're here to provide all that support too with our counselors and our systems here in place. So I'm going to stop there and leave room for questions and answers.
I was going to go on and show the schedule, but I just wanted to reiterate. I think what's really great is that EVC and CAES have really come together to make sure that all of this, the learning piece and the on-the-job training piece all happens within a 40-hour work week. So we're not asking you to work a full-time job and go to school full-time, right? So this is all happening in a 40-hour a week commitment time frame. So just to give you that idea. And I think that works really well because a lot of us are busy. A lot of us have, family obligations outside of just work. But this is really a great way that, we're not asking the sun, the moon, and the stars. We're trying to make this very easy to attain and very easy to do. And Bonnie, did you want to talk a little bit about how they will get the 13 courses during the Earn and Learn, but they have the option to complete the rest of the level 1 certificate? Do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yes, so this is the learner course, and then you will have options to fully complete it and take the additional. We have other courses. There's 2 other courses I think that you will need on that to get the full certificate. So we have that during our intersession. So our intersessions are 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks. Yes, 4 weeks, 1 month in January. And then you can also either take it in the springtime too. Our spring schedule starts in February. And we already, like Kelly mentioned, we already have students already taking those courses. So you would be pretty much in that similar cohort. So you don't feel like you're not part of CAES, but you will be the added onto that roster with the students there. So you will have colleagues and peers that are already taking the other 200 level courses with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so as a reminder, the courses involved in this program will be fully paid. So we're not asking you to pay for the college classes out of pocket. They will be paid. However, we highly encourage you, if you can, to finish and complete that level 1 certificate at EVC, which does require a few additional courses that you would have to pay out of pocket for, but it would make you eligible for higher level technician positions with CAES, and then the potential for higher earning wages as well.
Right.
So,
and then we can also work with you to get financial aid and any BOG waivers because you probably qualify. We also have other, we also support textbooks. So we provide you all our textbook loans so you don't have, and our tuition rate is really low at $46 an hour a credit unit. So so per class, it doesn't go.
Can you go back, Nikisa, to that? I
Yes.
just wanted to make a point that while their certificate's important, I think for us here at CAES, the most important thing is that MFG 201. That's the class that we're looking for to you do well in, because that is the key to doing well in the test arena. Although while you're here working, you're going to be supporting different areas, not necessarily just test. So we'd like to see our hires from the program take the full course load, because it's going to help you to grow up that technician level. That's where I put in there. It's all based on education and experience. Some people don't need the additional education, but in general, it helps you to grow and develop more quickly. And if you develop more quickly, you get to make more money, which everybody wants, and you get to do a lot of more exciting, harder products. But I just want to make it clear, it's not like you don't have to go finish the whole thing. It's okay if you can't get through that option.
thank you for that clarification. And thank you, Mani, for the clarification on the additional resources available as well. So do you want to talk us through, Mani, real fast, the schedule for this 10-week Earn and Learn?
Yeah, so as you can see, it's as Nikisa mentioned, we condensed this in your 40-hour work week. It would start on November 8th, and you'll see the class time would be 20 hours in class. So you'll be on site with us, with the instructors, and then the rest there. It looks complicated, but it's not really. It's pretty much 4 hours of in class here, and then 4 hours as on site with Kelly. So I believe we said in the morning, right, Kelly, that they're with you?
Yeah, the way we have it set now is 8 to 12. But I think once you get the classes lined up, if we have to adjust it, I don't
Yes.
want people
Yeah, so
feeling
we-
like they're in
yes.
class all night, and then they got to get up super early. So we just got it, but that's sort of the general idea right now.
Yes, so we're very flexible with our industry partners. So if you're coming, to work at 8, we'll make sure that the evening, you don't go too far into the evening so you're not all night long, or that she starts you at 8:30, and then we don't start the classes till 1, so we do that time. So, but usually it's just 4 hours for class time and 4 hours for the training time with the case. And that's really is. So I'm just gonna leave it for questions. Don't mind you the amount of numbers, but it is a commitment, but we make sure that we will here for you. So so don't be afraid of the schedule, and we are making sure that we are successful. Just apply, go through the process, and we'll make sure that everything is successful for you.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. And I think one of the things that I like about this program, it's 10 weeks. And I think somebody had referred to it as kind of a career accelerator. And it really is that, right? In 10 weeks, you could be well on your way into a new career, which, by the way, is growing here. So for those of you that don't know, manufacturing is actually our #1 industry in South Santa Clara County. It's also a very large and growing industry. So, beyond just this position or this program, there's actually a lot of opportunity in manufacturing, which can provide a living wage here in the Valley. So all good things. Monty, we did have a question about whether or not laptops will be available for classwork.
Yes, laptops will be available, textbooks will be available. You do not have to worry about anything except to show up and learn, and then show up and then participate in that on site. So yes, we'll make sure everything is yes. So the answer is yes.
Excellent. Thank you. So I just wanted to highlight here again the website to go to complete the application, as well as to get all the information that we've kind of talked about. Again, the deadline is this Friday, but wanted to take a moment real fast to just kind of open it up to questions and answers. So if you're participating on the call, if you'd like, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question, or you can use the raise your hand feature. It's up to you. But love to have any questions you have for either Kelly with CAES or about EVC, any of the questions about the program you have. Oh, come on, don't be shy. I know there's got to be a question.
While we're waiting, Nikisa, I want to add something. So one of the benefits of this program is you're taking the coursework, and your target is, will I get that technician position? But one of the huge benefits is that you're going to be in this company working. So you're going to networking with a lot of people. You're going to get to know a lot of the engineers who will help you with your classes if you have questions. Our management layers are very small, meaning that, word gets back to me pretty quick and other managers. So if there's some kind of problem or communication thing, we work very, very closely with EVC. We're partners in all this. So at the end of the day, the best way to get a job is to get your foot in the door. And just by doing this program, you're going to get your foot in the door. So even if for some reason you do it, and you're like, oh, I don't think it's a lot of math, but it's too much math, or I really don't care about those circuits, or this isn't what I want to do. You're going to have opportunities for all the other openings that we have in manufacturing here in San Jose. And by coming to this program, you're going to be exposed to all of that.
Hello.
I just wanted to throw that in.
Perfect. Yeah, is that Sharon? Go ahead.
I came in late. I didn't understand. Is this a program that you get paid for while you training?
Yes, ma'am. That's the beauty of it. So the wage is set at $19 an hour for this 10-week program. So while you're in class or while you're working on site at CAES, you will be paid $19 an hour.
Okay. So everything is, that means I have to go to CAES and I do my lab work, and then I'll be working in what lab, on the computer too?
I didn't quite understand the question. Sorry.
Will I be working in a lab for 4 hours and then working on a computer for 4 hours? Is that the way that go?
No, so the 4 hours is one in the classroom. So it's a classroom learning. And the other 4 hours is on the site training. So if you apply and you get selected, chosen, you'll do 4 hours of in the classroom learning and then 4 hours of on the site with CAES. So it's the classroom learning is not just on the laptop, it's actually hands-on, like classroom, and then we have our own materials that you would be working with, what we call lab sessions, hands-on work, hands-on training and hands-on learning. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this is the website, the www Work to Future. Is that the one to complete the application?
Yes, ma'am. And we would welcome you to do it before Friday at 5, this Friday at 5.
Okay.
Okay. I see a question in the chat. Is there online material that can be downloaded to help, like the text material or like the textbooks? Or is it all on textbooks primarily?
Yes, it's all, so it's textbooks materials on, we did not online loaded. So a lot of it that the instructors who are either CASE employees or Jabil or DuPont, they did chose the textbook. And this is not an online course. So this is not an online teaching. We've learned that for the hands-on portion, even though during COVID, we did instruct it online, it was more conducive that the learning takes better hands-on and on-site or on our classroom sites, or sometimes we take a visit to our industry partner sites. But you can only, this is not an online classroom course. It's a hands-on textbook. Yeah.
Thank you. Another question from the chat. What kind of prerequisite skills are there to participate in this program? I think the main one is you have to have the right to work in the United States.
Yes, and the age, right? Age.
Yeah, I think you have to be at least 18.
18.
Right.
Yes.
And the, there's no really prerequisite in that if you have a GED, you can be an EVC student. If you're so first the priority is to get you sure you're applicable and then EBC student, but there's no prerequisite, like there's no math prerequisite or ESL language, but we do encourage you to take proficient level of reading and writing and math. But that's why we have that math for manufacturing. So make sure that we skill you up in the math level component. Would you say that's applicable, Kelly?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The math is applied is what I would say. So it's applied to manufacturing. So it's not going to be some big theoretical class. It's just to get you so that you're able to get through the electronics more easily.
Perfect. We have another question in the chat that I think, Kelly, you might be best to answer. It says, this is an entry-level position. Can you elaborate a little further on the career pathways?
I was just trying to turn down my phone. It seems so loud in the background.
No problem.
So can I elaborate on the career pathways as a technician, or was it other? I didn't quite understand.
It's not clear. It just says, because this is an entry-level position, get your foot in the door. Maybe you can talk about the different opportunities or the different pathways that might be available through CAES.
Oh, okay. So, and just so everybody knows, I have my HR partner, Jessica from CAES on this call in case you guys ask me any hard HR questions. But in manufacturing, we have lots of positions open in our assembly areas, in our package manufacturing. We make material here that goes into our electronic products. So we fabricate all of that here. And those positions don't require all this, I'll say, upskill applied manufacturing education. But like I said, it is a way to get your foot in the door and then get exposed to those, because they do tend to look for people with a little bit of experience. So if you're chosen for the program, then you can show us, you're coming to work on time, you're doing a really good job, you're trying to learn. And so there, of the 600 employees, 400 are in manufacturing. And of those 400, 350 are, assemblers, technicians, operators, and those would be the pathways for folks coming out of a college like EVC with some additional education beyond high school. then the rest of the positions tend to be financial, engineering managers like me, just a bunch of people who push paper. But they're, you know, we just had somebody in our group, in our packaging group, who asked me just the other day, hey, can you talk to EVC? We need someone who could do this. And I'm thinking, well, that's the same classes that you would take for these classes that we're doing right now. So a lot of it overlaps, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because we hire a lot of our people from our assembly group. They go take the class at EVC or a similar class, and they come into the technician field because that's what they want to do, and they see more opportunity, or they're just interested in it. But there's lots of opportunity in manufacturing if you like doing things with your hands and building products and working with lots of people on really cool stuff, then this is the place to work.
Great.
And we're right down the hill from EVC.
Perfect.
And some of the teaching in these classes is done by the engineers who work here, because they help put the program together. So we're very invested.
Awesome. So along those lines, can you give us an idea, Kelly, what does it look like to kind of a day in the life at CAES? Like, what does the work look like? Is it assembly line based? What is it going to look like?
It's both. So if you're I'm going to tell you tests, because that's where we have the most growth, but it's also an assembly because those guys got to feed us the product, but where we're struggle to find technicians because of the skill that's required, which is what these courses offer. But we have 2 shifts. So, you know, one's 7 to 3:30 and the other is 3:30, 11. So depending on the shift, you come in, you badge in. If you work here, wait, let me get my visual. You have to wear one of these because right now we wear masks all day long. I'm in my office, so I'm allowed to take it off, but I'm one of the privileged people who could do that. Everybody else, as soon as I leave this office, I have to put a mask on. So you have to mask up, you come through, everybody has to be badged for entry. And then you'll go to your workstation. So if you're a technician, those products, which I don't have pictures of them to show you here, you know, you might be taking some of those products and putting them onto a test stand and then testing them, which means, you know, you have to hook it up. There's some sort of mechanical assembly to do that. And then you'll be pushing buttons on like an automated computer station, and data will come out. And you'll be expected to interpret that data, which we will teach you how to know whether it passes or fails. And if it's good, you move it on, and they expected to do another one. That would be like the entry level technician. And then in assembly, it's the same sort of thing. You come in, you have your workstation, and you might be building a product where you're putting, you know, pins into a housing, and you're doing that. You got to put 20 pins in a housing, and you got to do like 4 of those a day, and you know, one takes 2 hours. That's your 8-hour shift. So there's a range, but it can get pretty heavily, I'll say technologically challenging if you're in the test area, because that's where there's lots more interpretation of data and expectation to work with engineers and work at that higher level, hence this whole program that we have. I don't know if I answered the question, but
no, that's great. Thanks. So there is a question in the chat as well, similar to this. Do we provide training in computers and IT technology? So I would say that part of this program, there is going to be that Microsoft Office piece to kind of help enhance those Excel skills. I do know that EVC does also provide a wide range of computer and technology classes, as well as certificate programs like industry certificate programs, as well as Work to Future does also provide those, some of those at no cost. And we are looking at future iterations of this earn and learn model. So this is our first pilot, and we will actually be having 2 more pilots, likely also in manufacturing within the next year. But we are looking ideally to branch this out into other industries, and computer IT technology is definitely high on our list. So probably more of that to come. And then another question was about how many trainees are going to be accepted into this program, et cetera. So for this very first pilot, CAES has agreed to take on 5 folks to bring them on, train them on site, and then they'll be eligible for full-time employment with CAES with benefits afterwards. And so how they're going to select that is essentially from the applications that we receive by Friday. We will have CAES and their team will go through and kind of do a screening. They will then set up those phone interviews or those Zoom interviews, excuse me, with the candidates that they think are likely going to be the ones who will move forward in the program. And those again are going to be targeted to be scheduled on November 1st and 2nd. And then by the end of that week, we will make a decision on who the 5 will be. And then those folks will get contacted by the end of that week and they'll be ready to start on November 8th. But the good news, as I mentioned, as we have more iterations of these pilots coming in, we are certainly going to keep everyone's application and contact you with the next round, which is slated to be probably starting in April of next year, most likely. So we'll be contacting you if for any reason you're not, you do not get into this round, we will certainly be contacting you for the subsequent rounds. Might be with different employers, but we will definitely keep you in the loop with that. So hopefully that answers that question. Another question we have from the chat is the assembly on a PC board level or larger units?
The assembly is at the microcircuit level. So it's not even on, we do have some assembly on the board, but 90% of our assembly is inside a hybrid module, which means you're under a scope putting down bonds and mimics and things like that. It's very tiny.
Great, thank you. There's no other questions in the chat. Does anybody else have a question they want to ask by unmuting themselves or raising their hand?
Yeah, I have one question like,
can you speak up a little bit more? Sorry, it's hard to hear you.
I have one question like, this is the job after completing the course. This is a standing job, yeah, this is the while working the place, this is a sitting job.
Is it standing or sitting is the question?
Sitting.
Okay. And the second question is, when we complete this course, and do we have to work? Is compulsory? Yeah, we can just complete the course and we find that we are not able to do it, this thing. Then can we? What kind of the contract is this?
So all employment in California is at will, right? And so the idea and the goal of this program is really to get your foot in the door with CAES so that at the completion of the 10 weeks of the earn and learn period, you will be eligible for permanent employment with CAES. So not on a contract basis with a staffing company or anything like that, but permanent full-time employment with CAES, with benefits, etc. But that would be the expectation. Now, of course, no one can tie you down and make you do that, but that would be our expectation. If you're going to participate in the program, that you would be willing to accept full-time permanent employment at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great questions though. Any other questions?
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
May I ask you, like, how are the classes divided up in the 10-week period?
Yeah, so Monty Dickerson with EVC had a jump off, but essentially the coursework, it's going to be the first 2 weeks of the 10-week period will be 20 hours each week of in-classroom training. And then the remaining 8 weeks, it'll be a 50-50 blend. So you'll have 4 hours a day of classroom training and then 4 hours a day of on-site work experience with CAES.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Sure. So yeah, it's not going to ever exceed 40 hours a week. So again, we're not going to be asking you to take a full-time job and go to school on top of that, right? So we've kind of worked it in so that it's never going to be more than 40 hours. And then you get paid. I mean, I didn't get paid to go to school, so I don't mind, right? It's not a bad deal. So you'll get paid while you're learning as well as while you're working.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I have a question like, do we need to wear any kind of, this is a sterile area or something like that? We have to wear some kind of clothes because this is the microchips or kind of thing. So do we need any special clothes during our job?
Kelly, are you able to speak to that?
I hear it's special clothing. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
So there's no just, t-shirt and jeans, or if you want to dress up, you can do that too. The only strict rules we have is that you have to wear closed-toed shoes.
But it's not
and
in a
not
clean room
because,
environment, right?
yeah, what's that?
It's not in a clean room environment.
It's not in a clean room environment, although you will have to wear smocks, which we provide for protection of the hardware, electrostatic discharge protection. But we do have a closed toe shoe policy, and that's not because it's dangerous, like big heavy things are going to fall, but we've had people come in here in sandals and heels, and then they've fallen in the hallway just going into their locker, stuff like that. So we decided to make sure that everybody, no fancy shoes. So most people have tennis shoes on, or boots, or something comfortable.
Great, thank you.
Last question I have, after the complete the course, do we have a working place is in San Jose, or it's outside San Jose?
Yes, San
Correct.
Jose.
South San Jose, that's correct. That's where the work site is located.
Very much.
You're
And just-
welcome.
Just to give you guys an idea, we're typically opposite traffic. So if you just drive, it's usually right down the 101. We're right off of the Hellier exit. So if you're familiar with the county park, Hellier, that's nearby where we're located.
Great. And Kelly and Jessica, maybe you can answer this question. What is the salary range to start a career at CAES?
Sorry, I was muted. In general, I know we were promoting this event as starting $19 an hour, but if for whatever reason you decide that isn't the program for you, or maybe you start looking around in our other job openings, it's all around the same starting range. It could be, a little bit less or a little bit more by $1 usually, depending on what department. So it's kind of hard to say, but I would say if it's entry level with 0 to little experience, it's usually around the same range.
Great. Perfect. A question, do you need a security clearance to work at CAES?
For the test technician position, you will have to be able to obtain a security clearance.
Good to know. Thank you. Okay, great. Well, what we're gonna, I'm sorry, was there another question?
But not for other positions. So again, if it doesn't work out for some reason, the test technician is the only one, because we work in a classified environment.
Okay.
Yeah, and to add to that, that again, like Kelly had mentioned, are other departments that don't require the security clearance, but we would need proof of US person just because of the work that we do. That's just a requirement from our security department. But again, if you have questions about that, you can always, reach out.
Do we have a schedule? You say you start, if they get hired, they start on November the 8th, and then just up to 40 hours. Do they pick the days we come in, or how did that go?
Do you have that worked out already, Kelly, with Monty? What days? I'm assuming, is it Monday through Friday?
That's
Will
what
be-
I'm assuming. I
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I'm gonna have to let
I
her
know that
answer
the-
that, but I assumed it was every day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I believe
The
it's Monday through
classes may
Friday.
not be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Monday through Friday. I think the plan is to do the hands-on work experience in the mornings. Is that correct, Kelly? Like 8 to 12?
Yeah, definitely the work part on site is Monday through Friday, but the classes may not be the same schedule every day, because classes tend to be Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a lab one day. So
Yeah.
that may vary, but it's going to add up to the 40. Oh, classes will be every day too, Lawrence is saying. Oh, okay.
Yes. And I think that Monty's trying to get the classes in between the 1 to 5 o'clock hours, so that you'll be having a normal kind of 8 to 5 Monday through Friday type of schedule.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, so I think what we're going to do now, we have a couple options. So some of you who are on the call may already know of Work to Future, may be enrolled in Work to Future and interested in moving forward. Work to Future, we're the ones who are managing the grant. We're going to be the ones that are going to be helping on the enrollment process. And so one of the requirements is that we do have to complete a application with Work to Future since we are a federally funded agency, et cetera. But if there is anybody who is already enrolled in Work to Future and is on the call, we're going to open up a breakout room for you to join and just let us know that you're interested in moving forward. And so is there anybody on the call who is already a Work to Future, who's already enrolled in Work to Future and interested in moving forward? Will you use the raise your hand feature?
I think I'm not sure. I'm not
No
sure.
problem.
I remember doing this when I was unemployed, and
Okay.
I got into the program. I think it was Work to the Future,
Okay.
because it seemed like I got that information from them, but I'm just not sure.
That's fine. So I'm not seeing anybody raise their hand. So what we're going to do then for the rest of you, I'm going to ask my colleague, Greg Harris, to go ahead and tell us a little bit about Work to Future. And then if you are saying, yes, this program, I'm interested, I want to kind of jump on the next step, we can go ahead and help get your information and to start the registration process while you're going to be going to then complete the application by Friday. So Greg, if you're on the call, would you mind telling us a little bit about Work to Future and how Work to Future can support participants in this program?
Well, first of all, thank you, Nikisa. I'm very excited for all of the applicants. And basically what Work to Future is, we're a nationwide job placement and employment services company that enrolls applicants into our program, and we tailor our services for our clients to be matched up with potential jobs and employers in the local community. So basically that's it. And as you can see on the slide, we're located throughout the Bay Area and also throughout the United States. I am particularly excited about this opportunity for you all, simply because I was on the end result of some of the systems that CAES manufactures. In case that I was a naval officer, and so I served on a guided missile cruiser, and we had the Aegis array system on that ship, which was a USS Sterett, and also served on an auxiliary ship, was the USS Shasta, based right out here in Concord, California. So that relationship afforded me the opportunity to work alongside engineers and technicians who actually put those systems together. So it's crucial to the mission readiness of our armed forces in what they do and how they protect our country.
Okay.
Okay, we provide personalized coaching and expert advice at no cost to local residents, thanks to federal funding. One person asked, were there any courses? Yes, in addition to the coursework that you'll be taking, if you have time, and I suspect that you will be fully engaged in your coursework, but we also offer courses through metrics training and also through LinkedIn Learning. Through metrics, you can sign up for at least 100. I think they have over 100 certified courses, anywhere from QuickBooks to project management to Python computer languages. So, and then in LinkedIn Learning, they have about 16,000 courses. So these are free to the enrollees in our program. And so we're going to be very happy to work with you in increasing and improving your educational status. We offer personalized career coaching. So the way we're set up here is that we have career advisors who we have folks that do the intake and enrollment process, and then you will be actually working with a career advisor who will be doing an objective assessment, getting an understanding of what your strengths are so that they can tailor approaches to local employers to match you up with prospective jobs. We do, you get gain in skills through our organization. We have dozens of skill building workshops. So those are requirements that when you enroll in our agency, that you participate in several of the workshops. We have online training program, as I mentioned, through Metrics Learning. We have professional certificate training programs. We sponsor job fairs and recruitment events such as this to work alongside major and local businesses to provide employment opportunities and training to our participants. We also have hands-on training and work experiences. So we actually have relationships with local employers that we have a process that where we intake clients, and we will assign them to a prospective employer for a paid work experience or on-the-job training experience. Leading and the on-the-job training experience leads directly to a direct hire, such as this with CAES. And we also have entrepreneurial resources for our clients as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Greg. So with that, that's the end of our presentation here. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. We would love to know if you are interested in moving forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a couple breakout rooms, and we'll have some of our Work to Future staff members who will be there to just grab your email address and phone number if we should be following up with you. Even if you haven't completed your application yet, but you do intend to, we'd love to know. And so if you are maybe after this call, you've said, you know what, I don't think I'm really ready to move forward, or I'm not sure yet, you can feel free to drop off the call. If you are interested, stay on. I'm going to open up some breakout rooms, and the Work to Future staff will kind of help to get some of your contact information. And when they get it, then you can drop off and we're all done for the day. But before we do that, I just want to make sure, are there any other questions that anybody has?